Let's go back and talk a little bit about this election and what actually happened. One of the things, well, we know what, depending on your perspective, definitely on mine, that's for sure. One of the things that kind of bothered me about this whole thing was how poorly the polling organizations did.
Absolutely.
Nate Silver, I think, right now is in the witness protection program.
We haven't heard from him, have we? He meant to be this great guru of polling. Yeah. So, what's he saying now?
Actually, I'm interested by this because, actually, right at the end, the polling had Clinton with about a 3% lead.
And that was national polling as well.
National polling. She won by about 1%. So the polling, in the end, on a national level, was actually within margin of error.
Well,
but on a state-by-state level...
On a state-by-state level, it started to break down some, but on a national level, the polling wasn't a complete disaster in the end.
But the Huffington Post, for example, puts Clinton's chances at 92.8%.
Yeah. The extrapolation when you got to state level was a disaster.
Well, let me jump in here, guys, because this is how I've made my living for the last 8 years. Okay, relying on Nate Silver at 538, the good folks over at Princeton University, Sam Wang, listening very, very closely to both the New York Times, The Upshot, Washington Post, The Fix. Both of those had very strong polling organizations. Peter Hart, who I have used personally as a pollster, and his work for NBC Wall Street Journal, these were all very strong, credible names. And in fact, in the 2008 election, I was able to get within 6 electoral votes of the exact amount of the final result of the election. And in 2010, I made one more mistake and I ended up only 10 electoral votes away, but still resounding victories for Barack Obama based on the aggregation of all these polls. And then I went on...
State polls.
Yeah, the actual... And then on Monday night, I was on ITV's Sharp End, very confidently sitting there, looking at a poll amount, and I even went out in early October saying that she could probably get as many as 350 electoral votes, saying that, it was going to be at least 300 to 325 electoral votes. And to blow it by 6, to blow it by 10 is fine. To blow it by 130 is ridiculous. And so that, to me, said there's something very, very wrong in the state of our polling organizations.
I'm with you on that, I've got to say. They got Brexit wrong, but it was, it wasn't as big as this. No, I don't understand, right? Yeah. I don't understand. What do they do? What is their job?
Well, here's the problem that I've seen now, because it bothered me so much I couldn't even sleep, because you've only got your word and your credibility, and when your credibility gets damaged in that way, you sit there and you think, good God, how could I have gotten this so horribly wrong? Now, I take a little bit of comfort in the fact that everybody got it wrong, but it really bothered me, and I started to look back through articles of how polls are actually collected, and basically there was one from Roll Call that jumped out at me that said, look, polling organizations can't get good samples for the following reasons. Number one, people don't pick up their cell phones from numbers they don't recognize. Number two, there's a law preventing you from auto-dialing cell or mobile phones. So, basically most of them, I thought that was
a state law?
I think it's a federal law. And number three, you cannot call people that are on the do not call register, of which so many people are. So from the very beginning, they may reach 1,500 people, but the sample is flawed. All right, and and I was listening to Harry Enton in the weeks leading up to the election. He said, roughly 70 polls a day are coming in and being aggregated. But if they're all based on crap, it's crap in and crap out times 70 to produce this. There was not one polling organization. There's not one polling organization out there that said less than a 70% chance of Hillary Clinton winning all the way up to 98% at Huffington Post. And and the upshot had her. I mean, Princeton and Sam Wang had her at 97% chance of winning. The upshot had her at 83% chance of winning, down from 92. I'm like, okay, well, that's not bad. Still, that's a very confident number. And so when you go out and talk to the media using these people as your sources, it's like,
But it's so yeah. I understand where you're coming from. So basically, they were all based on rubbish.
Rubbish in, rubbish out.
So it's magnifying rubbish. Yeah,
Paul?
Paul.
Well, I'm just saying that raises some really difficult questions going forward in terms of how you predict elections.